If you've ever invested in mutual funds, you know that feeling, right? That little bit of anxiety that creeps in. You start asking yourself, am I doing this right? Am I checking my portfolio way too much or not nearly enough? Well, today, we're going to cut right through all that confusion. We're going to build a smart, logical system for reviewing your investments.
So which one are you? Come on, be honest. Are you glued to your phone checking those returns every single day? Or are you on the total opposite end of the spectrum, completely hands-off, maybe you haven't looked in years? Turns out, both of those extremes can actually get you into a bit of trouble.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. The single biggest mistake you can make? Overchecking. Look, those daily market swings are just noise. It's all driven by news headlines and speculation, not the actual health of the companies you own. And when you react to that noise, you're making emotional decisions, not logical ones. Remember, these are long-term vehicles, not lottery tickets.
So here's our game plan to get this right. First, we'll talk about the right frequency, then your 5-step check. We'll cover when to actually make a change, some common mistakes to avoid, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple, logical checklist you can use every time.
All right, first up, let's tackle that big question. How often should you actually be checking? The goal here is to replace that constant worry with one simple, super effective rule.
And here it is, the magic number, according to the experts, 6 months. That's it, just twice a year. Seriously, it is more than enough to stay on top of things without getting sucked into the day-to-day drama of the market. It really is the perfect balance.
And this quote just nails the why behind that 6-month rule. Think about it. Your mutual funds are like slow-growing trees, not some fast-moving stock ticker on a screen. They are designed to build wealth over years, maybe even decades. They were never, ever meant to be daily tracking products.
Okay, so you know when to check. Now let's get into what you should actually be doing during that check. We're jumping into a logical, step-by-step framework that is designed to keep your emotions out of the picture entirely.
Step 1. And listen, this is the most critical place to start. Before you even glance at performance numbers, you have to ask yourself, why did I buy this fund in the first place? Every single fund you own should have a job, whether it's for retirement, your kid's education, whatever. If that goal hasn't changed, you're already starting from a really strong position.
So once you've reconnected with your why, now it's time for step 2. Now we can look at the numbers. But we're going to do it the smart way, by focusing on what actually matters, not all that distracting short-term noise.
Think of it like this. Short-term returns, the last 3 or 6 months, that's just the daily weather. It's volatile, it's misleading, and it makes you want to panic. But the long-term, 3 to 5 year performance, that's the climate. That shows you the real trend, the fund's true strength. And that's what you want to focus on.
And here's a pro tip. Never ever look at performance in a vacuum. It needs context. So you have to compare your fund against 2 key things. Its official benchmark, that's its target, and the average of other similar funds. If your fund is consistently beating both of those, well, that is a very, very healthy sign.
Now let's move on to step 3. And this one is huge, consistency. Because one amazing year of returns doesn't automatically mean you have a long-term winner on your hands. This quote absolutely nails it. Consistency is so much more important than a one-time flash in the pan. You're looking for a fund that's like a steady marathon runner, not a sprinter that flames out after the first lap. Year after year, solid performance. That's what's going to help you reach your goals.
Okay, step 4 is the sneaky one that catches so many investors off guard. It's time to pop the hood and see if you are actually as diversified as you think you are.
This is such a classic trap. You might think, hey, I own 3 different large-cap funds, I'm diversified. But what if they all hold the exact same top 10 stocks? You're not spreading your risk at all. You're actually concentrating it without even realizing it. A quick look at the top holdings can tell you if you're accidentally doubling down. And finally, that brings us to step 5, zooming out to the big picture. This is where you check your overall asset allocation, that balance you have between different kinds of investments, like stocks and bonds.
So let's say your perfect mix is 75% in stocks and 25% in bonds, but then the stock market has a fantastic year. Well, that stock portion could easily grow to, say, 85% of your portfolio. And just like that, without you doing a thing, you're taking on way more risk than you planned. Your 6-month review is the perfect time to just nudge things back into balance.
Okay, so you've run through all 5 checks. You might find something that needs a little attention. So when do you actually pull the trigger and sell a fund? The key here is to have logical, pre-planned reasons, so you're not just reacting to fear. And here are the only 4 reasons you need. Number 1, it's been consistently underperforming for years compared to its peers. 2, there's been a major change in how the fund is managed. 3, your goals have changed. Or 4, you found way too much overlap. Now notice what's not on this list. The market had a bad week.
Knowing the right reasons to sell is one thing, but to really make this stick, you also have to know the wrong reasons. And that brings us to the emotional traps we all need to avoid.
Ah, yes, the greatest hits of bad investing habits. We've talked about checking daily. Panic selling when the market is down just locks in your losses. Chasing last year's superstar fund? That's like driving by only looking in the rearview mirror. And of course, the opposite extreme, ignoring your portfolio for years, is just as dangerous.
All right, we have covered a lot, so let's boil this entire process down into one simple, powerful checklist that you can use every 6 months to keep you on track. This is it. 4 simple questions. First, is my goal for this fund still the same? Second, is the fund's long-term performance consistent? Third, is there too much overlap with my other funds? And fourth, is my overall asset allocation balanced? If you can answer yes to these questions, your best move is probably to do nothing. Just stay invested and let your plan do its work. That's how you review with logic, not with fear.
So the next time you get that itch to check your portfolio, stop. And just ask yourself one of those 4 logical questions instead. As always, please remember, this content is for educational purposes only. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks, and it is always a good idea to consult a qualified professional before you invest.